Sam.
Hello.
Thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Marketing is a business process of creating relationships with and satisfying customers. What main practices does it involve? Can you tell us more about this?
So I think it sort of depends on the aim of the campaign. So the nice thing that I find about what kind of links them both up is that it can be any stage throughout the selling process. So whether it be just inspiring, like really trying to generate that awareness in your audience, right through the whole process to like through the whole path to purchase up to actually making the purchase or any part involved in that. I think advertising is very heavily linked to marketing in that sense because it comes to play in the whole creative area when coming together with a campaign, and different aspects can be involved with that.
Indeed, whether marketing is more business oriented, their creative still plays a very important role, because whether you are communicating to customer or to businesses, you still need the communication process, which is done by advertising or PR.
Absolutely. You still have to like kind of pay attention to the whole creative part of it, because that's still something you need to consider when putting together the whole business aspect of it. So you need to be able to have that level and depth of understanding of the creative process and as to why some of the decisions have been made creatively in order to accurately target your campaign and calculate ROI.
Sam, do you currently have any modules that involve lots of creativity and emphasize on the marketing advertising mix?
Yes, so we have an advertising module where we have to create a campaign surrounding a social issue of our choice. So we have to plan everything from like conceptualizing this idea and to what the social idea, the social issue is going to be, and then we have to plan through how we're going to measure it, so what metrics we're going to use to monitor its success, and then we kind of have to look at how much of an impact we're willing to have, who we're going to reach, and then really comes the creative side of things. So then we really look into creating this concept, whether it be a specific piece of advertising, video, a poster, or whether it be more of like an idea that would be applicable across like all mobile platforms or something interactive, and how that would kind of combat the issue that you have, and what way in which you go about doing that. So it's kind of cool. So we're doing, lots of groups are doing everything from like breast cancer to male suicide. That's the biggest killer of men under 25, I think. So we have to choose it around that. So ours is like GM foods, organic stuff. But then we have to sort of come up with it from there. So yeah, that's fun. But that's the one that I think is really cool because it really does it incorporates the creative aspect of it, and we have to write a full-on creative brief and about why we've made certain decisions. So everything from the font on the page to the image we've used, and what are we trying to inspire within someone when we've made it, and what we want their reaction to be. And we also got to have like a focus group as well, so we could then use that to ask them questions to find out their opinions or their thoughts or what they know already about the social issue. So at least that way, when we formulate and we create the piece of advertising, we can use that information to create something creative that will hopefully get the response that we want.
As we already know, Sam is a second-year student and is already working in the industry, and he's part of an Instagram advertising agency. Sam, can you tell us more about how is it to be working already in the industry? I guess it should be very exciting.
It is exciting. I like it because it gives me an opportunity to communicate with my industry. So I think the scariest thing when going straight into a business is like, I'd never actually spoken to an account manager before. I'd never spoken to someone who does strategy before. I never really got to learn the ins and outs of the processes, because there's only so much you can be taught about it against when you're actually in the room when they're doing it. So it's cool because it means I get to really see the nuts and bolts behind the processes and why they make certain decisions. And also, there is every advert is different, every campaign is different. So you really get that insight into the different types of things that go on, even maybe different issues that might crop up as part of a campaign. Obviously, everything is case by case, every single one is different. So you get to learn about what some of those might be, how some of those are overcome, and it just makes it really is a chance to see everything that I learn as well in my modules sort of applied in a way, and just get to see it all in action. So I really like it. Cool. It's definitely a big plus, I think.
I imagine, and it contributes a lot to the learning process as well. When you get back to uni, you have already the experience required to understand better what you're being taught. So
Absolutely, absolutely, I agree. And I think when it comes to, there's always the opportunity to choose different pathways when it comes to, so marketing is very broad, like very broad. It can be like B2B, it can be SEO or like PPC, like there's so many different options within it that you can go down. And so getting out and being able to absorb lots of different things. So because I work for a startup, they're quite small, but one of the benefits of that is that I get to see the different aspects of the business. So I get to learn about, I get to see the accounts team doing their thing and running different campaigns. I'll then get to go and see the sales team prospecting new clients, and then I'll get to see people calculating strategy and what's the best way to achieve the goals and get the best possible return on investment for their clients. So being in such a small environment and really taking it all in allows me to hone in. So when it comes to choosing like electives or doing different pathways and having the chance to decide, it really gives you the opportunity to get a feel for the sorts of things that you might want to do going forward.
yeah, and we know these industries, marketing, advertising, they are extremely complex, they are extremely broad, so you have so many opportunities. So I think it's really important to get to experience different roles, so by the time you finish, you graduate, you already know the path you are planning to
Absolutely.
orient to.
I completely agree. And I think even on the flip side, even if people have spent maybe like 12 weeks, like a one semester in an agency and thought, you know what, that's maybe not quite for me, that's fine. Like there is no harm in like having that experience, because at least that way you still know how that certain working setting within the industry kind of works. It kind of like makes sense. So from working in like a bigger agency, like I now know that consulting and that side of things probably not for me. Because because there's so many people, you have your set area. So like if there's a small company, you get to get an idea of all the different aspects of it. Whereas if it's a really massive company, if you've got your spreadsheets, just doing your spreadsheets, like that's going to be your thing. That's just what you do. And so it really gives you an opportunity to see, like you said, the things that you do want to do. And when you graduate, you have a really good footing for your pathway, or also not, if that's something you think, you know what, that's not for me, but you've had the opportunity to give it a go before you get to a stage where you have to make that decision. So,
What are the main challenges and rewards of working in the industry?
oh, okay. So I'd probably say challenge is a good one. With challenges, I think, is as the industry is always changing all of the time, it is something that you do have to keep on top of. So you will need to sign up to certain things, just like get information about what's going on. Like, I don't know, if there's a brand who used Instagram to sell and their main audience was on Instagram, when Instagram started doing swipe up links and you could tag products, you could have a shoppable post, that obviously would have had a massive impact on them as a business. But you know, if I was doing like a diploma or something at the time, like it's very difficult to keep on top of all these things. So that I'd say I think is the main challenge, or just main thing that is like can sometimes be a bit tricky, because there's always so many things going on. You really have to keep informed about all these different changes and different innovative ways that people are doing things, or even like just changes in your audience, because you can understand to a certain degree how your audience's mind works. You can kind of do a lot of studies, you can get a feel for the sorts of things that they do, where they shop, what they like, what they don't like. But you'll never be able to completely 100% guarantee what that's going to be tomorrow or the next day. So it really is down to the industry to really keep track of that. And so I think it's something that it never really stops. It's just something that you just have to keep doing and keep learning, be a bit of a sponge and take it all in. Rewards, I think, is just seeing something out there that you really got to play a part in. It's really amazing to see, especially if you're one of the agencies that has helped formulate the John Lewis Christmas ads or something like that. That's really become a really strong part of like Christmas culture, I think. So if you are one of the people lucky enough to be a part of that, you really get to see the impacts that you're having, and you are essentially part of Christmas culture. And so you really get to see these things and really see them come to life, and especially when it is like a social issue, like you get to really impact people and really see the effect that your campaign has had. So I think that's definitely one of the biggest rewards, and to get that creative input as well, I think.
Totally, because when creating something, you involve yourself so much, and you put so much effort, and you put so much passion. So in the end,
there is a level of
seeing your product.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a level of personal investment, like you were saying. Like when you're really passionate about something, you really want to invest in it, like mentally. You really want to be excited about it. You really want to make it as good as it can be. So when you have an opportunity to really invest in something and really take it to that next level because it's something you genuinely care about, you genuinely do, and you have that creative insight, it makes it all the more exciting when you see everything come together in the end. So I agree.
Thank you, Sam. It was a great pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, guys. For more information, check out the links in the description.